Now, in this very serene environment, I'm going to talk about something some people would consider disgusting, but I think it's a has to, because I don't know where you guys are learning to shoot up. Young people. Gotta put my glove on a minute. But this nonsense of licking a needle, licking a plunger, drawing water up out of a toilet and not cooking it. I don't know if that's like to show somebody you're a tough guy, or that's how you learn from these idiots on television. I just watched a program of these couples in New York that do heroin together. The dude is constantly drawing water up out of a toilet bowl in some fucking public bathroom and licking a needle before it sticks in his arm. I guarantee you right now that dude is dead. And if he didn't overdose, he's dead from bacteria. Because you get this disease, bacteria called endocarditis. Sometimes it fits into the valves of your heart, and it'll make your heart blow up like gigantic. I kind of ran over this a little bit, but this is just going to be specific. If you're going to do this, if this is going to be your career, get smart about it. Get smart about earning, and get smart about shooting, using. Now, a lot of kids are overdosing because supposedly a bad batch of fentanyl come over from China. Whether or not this is true, I don't know. But I do know fentanyl can and is made in the United States also. I don't know why they're not addressing this, but use sterile techniques. If you got to share a needle, and I know the situations that arise, believe me, I've been in them. I used heroin since 1993. I only was off for a very short time. In over those years, maybe 4 years, I was off it totally. If you're going to share the needle, cook the dope. When you cook it, hold the needle in the dope on the cotton or whatever for a few, not a minute, just give it seconds, because you might be with some asshole that's rushing you. Draw it up in the needle, leave it in there for a second or two. I mean, the longer the better, because the heat will kill bacteria. It will kill even AIDS, hepatitis. But I mean boiling. Boil it so you see the bubbles. You don't want to shoot this in your arm like that, real hot. If you got clean water, you can draw up like just a little bit of water to cool it off. But if you don't got clean water, don't. Just give it a second, because when you shoot it, it's going to burn real bad. If you shoot it straight in real hot like that. But you take a big risk. I got hepatitis C. I've had it for a long time. My viral load is extremely high right now. I have not used heroin in 10 months, almost 11 months. And I haven't used any opiates in 9 months, except for methadone. You know, and this is my life. I'm on methadone. I'm doing fantastic. My mind is clear. You know, I'm a little sleepy sometimes, but it's better than it was, man. Hopefully I can go on for the rest of my life like this. I know a girl right now. She got endocarditis. It's the only thing I can think of. Her kidneys shut down. Her legs blew up. With all the poisons from the kidneys, swelled her legs up to like gigantic, and they had to cut patches out of her leg and put vacuum packs on them. The one leg keeps getting infected, and they keep cutting away the muscle. And they took all the muscle on one side of the leg from the knee to the ankle so far. 17 years old, no one probably taught her how to shoot. Some nitwit who watches assholes on television. You never lick the needle. You never lick any of the fucking thing. if you're sharing, boil it. Don't use water. If you're using water out of a toilet, I think you're insane. But if you're in some spot where there's no sink, I guess, boil it. Cook it good. It doesn't ruin the dope to cook the dope. Not at all. Heroin's a very, very pretty solid drug. Fentanyl is too. You don't got to cold shake it, which means when you don't cook it. With the overdosing, if you you don't see a lot of old guys overdosing like this and dying, and they didn't stop using, because you don't blast 10 bags. If you're using Xanaxes and Somas and all them other drugs, you take them after you do the heroin. You never, or even alcohol, you don't shoot up when you're drunk. You don't shoot up when you're fucked up on Xanaxes or benzos or Somas. You do the Somas if you're going to do them, because, and I'm not saying to do them, but it's a way of life. And that was always the rule. There was a gang of guys. I started doing PCP as a teenager, but there was a gang that did heroin from their teenage years who I got to know fairly well. And I can't say they were bad guys, but they were a wild bunch. And that was their rule too. Never shoot the heroin. When you're drunk, take the Xanaxes or whatever pills you're going to take afterward. And I have to tell you the truth, every single one of them are dead right now. And it's all from breaking their own rules. Every one of them. Every single one of them. Benzos and heroin. I mean, they lived into their late 40s, which is not old, but it's old for, dope addict old. And it's a sad thing. Their parents, even, it hurts them as much as, I can't say as much as it hurts your parents, because they're probably expecting it for so long, decades. So just the rules, quick rules. Never lick the needle, never lick any part of that thing that's going to touch what you're shooting into your arm. It's always good to cook the dope, in my opinion. You ever see the way these guys fill them heroin bags? They blow into them. Poof! Open them up, dump the dope in. Poof! Blow it. You don't know if their friggin' guys got TB or what, So it's a good idea. Even just, you don't have to boil it and boil it and boil it, but just cook it good. And it doesn't hurt it. Because I did it both ways, many times. I always prefer cooking it. Rules number whatever, 2, 3, 5, and 10. If you're going to take Xanaxes and alcohol or Somas or whatever you like, whatever else you're hooked on, do it after you take the heroin, and you're a lot less likely to overdose. It's when you're all naughty out already on benzos, and then you shoot the heroin, and then you just go to sleep. I shot 1/4 gram of PCP and 1/4 gram of cocaine once, and I had this hallucination that I was in this room with all these people like this, and it was very familiar. I mean, it was so familiar, and these people were so familiar, but I didn't know any of them. And then the room split down the middle with like a blue lightning bolt. And it's like, do you want to stay here? I don't know if it was a voice or a feeling. You can stay here if you want to. And I thought, no, I'll go back. And I wasn't breathing. And I went, did a giant inhale, go, holy shit, man. I did more than that, but that was my second shot of 1/4 and 1/4. I done it, I ain't bullshitting. Everybody wants to be a bad guy. Go ahead. And the way you guys steal is fucking ridiculous. Going in your parents' garage, taking the weed whackers and their lawnmowers and shit. But I grew up in the city. My parents didn't have shit. My old man would have broke my head with a baseball bat if I took something from them. They hurt so bad for money. So being from the suburbs or the parents having a little more money, I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. Be safe.